Hi everyone. I wanted to do a quick and brief video lecture to give you some pointers and tips and things to think about as you're reading your readings this week. This week is the first week where you're thinking about and exploring the role of the social worker and what our ethics and what guides us in social work practice and what our perspectives are. When we think about social work uses a strengths-based perspective with social justice as the key factor that motivates us. And when we talk about strengths-based, it means that rather than focusing on what is problematic or what is wrong with the client, we look at what are the strengths or the positive attributes that the client has that allows us to be able to work from those strengths and use those strengths to help them create a solution to their problem or issue or to support them in the change process. When we talk about client in this class, we're going to be talking about a variety of clients. They could be a single person, they could be a family. A client could refer to a child, an elderly individual, a family system, or even a community or organization could be our client at different times. So even though we all may be working with different clients, in terms of the definition and the breadth of the definition, it's important to understand that the skills that we use when we engage and work with a client translate across all different types of client populations, whether they're individuals, families, or communities. So some of the things that we talk about when we think about strengths, they could be strengths of the individual, like their dedication, their intelligence, their ability to self-reflect. Or we could be talking about family strengths, which means their love or caring for each other, their support systems. Or we could be thinking about client as a community and the community strengths, which means resources or availability to support those in need within the community. And so when we work from a social work perspective that is strengths-based, we want to think about creating lists and identifying what are the important positive attributes that each individual client, family, or system brings to the solution process. Over the next few weeks, we're going to work on and think about families, we're going to think about individuals, we're going to think about what are the skills that we need to interview and assess for what the strengths are, as well as assess for what the needs are, so that we can work collaboratively with our client to develop an intervention plan and a strategy that will help them in the change process and create as much support as we can along the way. One of the readings that you're going to look at this week is the Code of Ethics. And we talk about in social work, we have a code of ethics that guides our practice. We have ethics on social justice, empowerment, working with difference and diversity, being respectful and open-minded, helping to empower our clients to create a change process for themselves rather than relying too heavily on the clinician or social worker to make the change happen for them. In addition, we're going to look at things within the social work code of ethics that talks about how do we have relationships with clients? How do we create an ethically minded relationship so that we're sure that we're not creating a dual role with the client and that we're not potentially endangering the client for re-traumatization? All of this is stuff that we're going to talk about as we move forward in the class, and when I come for the workshop, we'll talk about this again. But familiarize yourself with the NASW's Code of Ethics, which is in the link that I supplied in the syllabus. Thinking about those codes of ethics when you work through the casework and the notes, it's important that as an ethically minded social worker, we're always documenting everything that's important to know and understand about the client. So in one of your assignments this week, you're going to be assessing case notes. You're going to be looking at good case notes as well as not so good case notes and thinking about what are the things that are missing in the poor case notes and how would you do them differently? How would you create a note or document that really identifies the strengths and needs of the client, as well as all of the situations and interactions that have taken place with the client in that particular case interaction? So be sure to look in our shared files for the case notes, the case example, and do the critique message board that is part of assignment number 2. Assignment number 1 is the icebreaker assignment where you're introducing each other. And Dr. Hauser and I will be looking at that icebreaker this week, as well as your case note and case note summary critique that is due on Sunday. Please be sure to email me at the Cruiser email address if you have any questions related to the readings or the assignments. Take your time going through these readings. We're going to talk about the readings specifically when I do come in November, but these readings are going to help you, guide you in terms of learning the concepts and understanding what is it that we mean in terms of social work practice. So pay particular attention to the reading related to the National Code of Ethics so you can understand what perspective we operate from when we talk about social justice, when we talk about empowerment, when we talk about cultural competence, and when we talk about what it means to be an ethically minded and ethically oriented social worker. I hope that you are enjoying the class so far. Again, please be sure to contact me if you have any questions, and I'd like to try in the next few weeks to try and Skype or make a connection with everybody in a group situation so that we can talk about any questions you may have. Over the course of the next few weeks, you'll be doing a lot of reading, so I won't be doing as long of video lectures as Dr. Hauser, but each week I'll try to do a video lecture that highlights the points that I want you to take from the readings. So the points I want you to take this week is what it means to be a social worker, what it means to operate from a strength perspective, and what are the code of ethics that we work from as a social worker. Good luck. I'll talk to you soon.